Goal Crushers. I'm so excited for today's special host takeover. As you know, we've been doing this series where I am giving the mic to others. And today we have an incredible guest host, Jeanine Hauck, an energy empowerment coach and mentor. One of my favorite people. I've been on her podcast, she's been on mine, and she is here to guide us through something truly powerful, the year of joy in 2025. She is all about helping you clear your energetic and subconscious blocks so you can experience more joy in your life and business. And in this episode, she dives deep into the power of high functioning and high frequency emotions, how joy can fuel your bold goals. And she introduces her Frequency of Joy Challenge, a transformative way to tap into joy daily. This episode is packed with insights and practical tips to help you align your actions, elevate your energy, and create more vibrant, fulfilling life. I know you're going to love this one, and I know you're going to love her. So let's get started. Jeanine, take it. Oh,
Hi, and welcome to the Bold Goal Crusher podcast. Today, I will be your host, Jeanine Hauck. You may be used to hearing the beautiful voice of Miss Sarah, but I have the pleasure of taking over the podcast for today. So sit down, strap in, and we are going to have some fun. I am a energy empowerment coach and mentor. To share a little bit about me, I'm a mom of three littles. I live in Canada. Yes, it's very cold here right now. And one of the things that is just so juicy to me and that I love doing more than anything else is helping people release their blocks. So, release those limitations that they may not even be aware of. I really love to dig into the energetic and the subconscious blocks that are often running the show. So, I am so honored that Sarah's asked me here today to be able to do an episode and share a little bit of what's lighting me up right now and how that can support you as well. So, one of the things that I received so clearly at the end of the year, I receive a lot of intuitive guidance, and I use that in my business and as I'm hitting those big goals in my life. So, one of the things that came in so clear at the end of last year was that 2025 was the year of joy, is the year of joy. And what a relief when I received that, because I know we have all been going through so many ups and downs, and there's been like tightenings and there's been squeezes, and it's shown up in our outer world as inflation and political chaos and different forms like that. And it's been showing up internally by us really being shown our blocks, really being shown where our limitations are and where our judgments are. And so when I seen that 2025 was the year of joy, I took a big breath, a big sigh of relief, because it's been feeling like the last few years for sure has been like pushing a boulder up a hill. Now, when 2025 is the year of joy, it just gets to be lighter. There gets to be more play. There gets to be more ease. And this gets to support you with all of your goals, because I know you wouldn't be here unless you had bold goals. This is who you are. It's programmed in you to reach for the stars, to go a little bit different than those before you. And so to be able to hear that this year gets to be lighter, it's just a load off. It's just a load off. And it's really interesting because a few months before I received that this year was the year of joy, I was guided to create a frequency of joy challenge. It was something that I'd never done before. And it was such a beautiful opportunity to get familiar with the frequency of joy. Now, in my world, I love working with frequencies. I love seeing how working with different frequencies can magnetize that which you are focusing on towards you. So I truly believe that what you focus on is what you create. And so with the frequency of joy, when we tap into the frequency of joy and when we really focus on the frequency of joy, it's actually the third highest frequency that we can tap into. If we look at our emotions, you can just Google it, there's so many charts on it. But if we look at our emotions from a state of frequency, Joy is actually the third highest, only to be topped by peace and enlightenment. Love is actually one below, which I found so fascinating and so surprising because it can often feel a lot easier to tap into joy than love. And so it's so interesting that joy is higher. And it's such a relief to know that joy is higher and it can be so simple to tap into. Now, a lot of the misconceptions around joy is that it's easy. A lot of times we don't take it serious enough. It's one of those things on our to do list that'll move us forward, but we always put off till the end, the things like that. And so joy gets to be taken really seriously this year. It gets to get the same amount of focus as you would give the other items on your to do list. I would even say it gets more focus because when we tap into the frequency of joy, and when we hold that frequency for a long period of time or a consistent period of time, what happens is the things in our environment will shift along with it. I always find it so interesting because when I'm embodying a new frequency or a new level for myself, it's not ever planned, but all of the sudden, I'll have this huge inspiration to move all of the furniture in my house and paint walls and do all of the things. And it's not because it's something that's been on my mind, but what happened is I've now embodied the new frequency and my outer reality shifts with it, whether intentional or not. And I always like to bring that up because it's such a good example where we can see immediately how our outer reality shifts. And what can often happen is when we're tapping into joy, the lower frequencies can't actually operate at the same time. And so, in the case of setting bold goals, we set it from a place of joy, why it's lighting us up. That's why it's so important to tap into your why when you're setting these high, high goals. We really want to tap into why because you're tapping to the frequency, you're tapping into the heart of why you want to do it, what is lighting you up, so that you have the longevity to do it. And the more often we tap into that frequency and the more consistent is the closer that it gets brought to us, the closer that our goal gets brought to us, the faster that we embody the goal that we are creating and calling out. So that's why it's so important to be able to hold on to the frequency of your why, of what you're creating. And then you'll notice things that aren't aligned with the goal that you're creating, things that busy work in your mind, habits that you have, different things like that will shift. It's For an example, it's like a millionaire. As they have set the goal, as they have tapped into it, as they have actually become the millionaire, a lot of things would have to have shifted for them. Their mindset around money, any lack consciousness had to shift. Habits that no longer serve them. They are probably not scrolling on their phone for hours and hours on end, right? Habits like that had to shift. Habits like doing everything themselves had to shift. They had to have a team around them to support them to be able to create this big vision. And so that's what I mean when we hold on to these high visions. Those outer realities, those things around us also have to and get to shift. And so it doesn't necessarily mean the person is conscious and be like, "Hey, I'm going to be a millionaire. And now I am going to go from 3 hours going on my phone to 15 minutes. I am going to hire a team and it has to be done today." Like it's not a to do list of what to do. What happens when we tap into those higher frequencies, that ends up shifting naturally. Just like I naturally was like, oh, the furniture, I've never thought of it this way. I'm going to shift it this way. And now my house has a different alignment as well. To give you an example of what that looks like, because sometimes when we're talking about frequencies, when we're talking about energies, even when it pertains to our goal, it can feel a little bit maybe airy fairy, maybe not concrete, maybe a little non committal. And so that's where it's different. It's not the case of not taking action because I don't believe we should be in a state of always being in the energy or always being in the action and the doing. It has to be a marriage of both. But I would say we get to lead with the energy. From my experience, I would say we get to lead with the energy. And so by leading with the energy, instead of that feeling of pushing up and coming from below and pushing us our goal up, what's actually happening is we're at the top of the mountain pulling it up. So it feels a lot lighter because we're already tapping into the version of ourselves who already has it. And so then it's just pulling the rest of you, releasing any part of you that does not align with that, and bringing that boulder to the top of the mountain that way with so much more ease. So that is why tapping into the frequency of joy is so important in 2025, because that's the frequency that wants to come through. And so it doesn't mean that we're going to feel joy 24/7, though how wonderful that would be. But we also get to feel the contrast of that this year of like, hey, where are we not feeling joy? Do we not feel that we're deserving of it? Where do we not allow ourselves to have it? Where are we not prioritizing it? The interesting thing about joy is likely how you answered each of those questions, you are probably having the same answers when it comes to money. Like, where are we not prioritizing it? Where are we not feeling like we're worthy of it? Where are we? Those are so many of the same questions. And so, by experiencing joy, it's really a practice in receiving the experiences of joy, allowing yourselves to have the experiences of joy, making space and time for these experiences. These are such high frequency experiences that by creating an environment, by creating a space that really nurtures this, it also allows other like experiences to come into your reality. You become a magnet for more experiences like this. And this is where it does feel like it happens with so much ease. It's not so much pushing that boulder up the hill, it gets to be easy. And the invitation, the other side of it, like I said, by experiencing more joy, you'll also see where you're not allowing yourself to, where there's a lack in it. And so that's where you're actually being shown what your actions are, what you get to do. So if you're experiencing like, oh, it's been a full week and you keep pushing off joy, it's on the top of your list and you keep putting it off to last and you're like, I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll get to it tomorrow. I think we've all had those days or those goals that we do that too. Then by doing that, we get to look at, hey, why am I not ready to experience this right now? Is that true? What gets to shift? These are beautiful questions that I like to go through with my clients because it uncovers a deeper meaning. It uncovers what's actually going on. Because consciously, of course, we want more joy in our life. Of course, we want more ease, abundance, more receiving. And we all feel that way. And yet our actions don't align to it. So that just means we're not at the same frequency. We're not at the frequency where we get to receive that. So joy is such a beautiful opportunity we've been given. Being this year, we are energetically being supported to have the year of joy. It's such a beautiful opportunity because we get to have this beautiful container to continually tap into joy. Now, like I said, it makes it so much more ease to go through your blocks, to bust through your blocks. So this is not an ethereal practice. This is a day-to-day, moment-to-moment practice. Hey, how can I have more fun in this moment? How can I have more joy in this moment? Where am I not letting myself have joy in this moment? Where am I trying to control the outcomes here? As you can tell, all of these questions are really going to get you at a much higher frequency. And by asking questions like this regularly, you also get to operate and manifest at such a higher level than the day to day. And that's one of the fastest ways that you can shift and be aligned to the goal that you want. As long as, I will say, as long as you also have a high vibe goal. Sometimes we set goals that aren't as high frequency. Sometimes it's set out of survival, right? We're just trying to make enough to live, trying to make enough to get by. We couldn't even imagine giving ourselves the permission to dream bigger because who am I to have that? And so that's why if you have a high vibrational goal, then tapping into joy is going to have you aligned to that so much faster. Now, if you don't have a goal, which I think sometimes we do, I know oftentimes I don't set particular goals. There's a few that'll come through, but I won't have a this, I'm creating this and this right now because I know when I've set goals in the past, my experience has been it's unfolded in a way better than I could have imagined for myself. And so, what the focus is, if you are that type of person, because I know we all can't set goals, create goals in the same way. If you are that type of person, I would invite you to just create joy, more and more joy, and then say yes and be open to the opportunities that come to you. Because there's a chance that you're just not dreaming big enough or you're meant for something bigger than you can't even imagine yet because it hasn't even manifested in the world yet. And it's important to be really aware of, is that you? Because how incredible is it? And you also get to play with the frequencies. You also get to experience the frequencies. And I think it's a good practice to do it that way, either way, because I think the future is so unknown right now. More than so many other times in life, there's so much uncertainty out there. And so it can be challenging to set a goal when you don't know if certain structures will still be there in a year or 2 years or what that reality is going to look like. So I would actually prompt you to begin making a habit of really choosing what you want to experience, how you want to experience life, and bringing that into your day to day, every day by having such a high goal, high frequency goal, it really sheds the light on what's ready to be released, what's ready to be let go of. And when we release it, then it actually impacts all areas of our life. Say if we released our lack mentality. Now, if we released our lack mentality, it would affect way more than just money. It would affect our generosity, the amount of time that we spend, the quality of time that we spend, and so many other areas. So, as you can tell, I could talk about this forever because it really is a chain reaction. It really is a different way of shifting your reality into one that you really desire, that you just fall in love with. And that's what I love doing. I love digging in there. I love releasing the things that are no longer serving you. I love helping you really see so you can release your blocks, so you can become aware, so that your interactions in your world, in your everyday is just completely different and one that you love. So I felt it was so important and to share with you the importance of joy this year so that you can create more ease in a area that's already supported. And so I was so honored when Sarah asked me to host an episode so that I could share this such an important message, a message that's been on my heart all year and even a little further. Want to give you a little bit of support. As I shared with you, I'd created a challenge before I even knew that joy was the frequency for 2025. And so I'd created a challenge, the frequency of joy challenge. And so in this challenge, you will get 5 days, 5 prompts, a prompt each day of things that will have you stepping into the frequency of joy. Now, these things are a little silly intentionally. I've intentionally made them silly so that it can shake you out of your this is how it should be, this is how it shouldn't, our set expectations or our set standards of what it looks like. And so I got a little silly with it. It got a little fun. This will be a challenge that feels light, that has you giggling, that has you wondering, why haven't I invited more of this into my life? And to keep going with it, you will, I would love for you to do this challenge because I think we've done things so seriously and we've taken ourselves so seriously up to this point as a society, as a rule, that I'd like to invite you just to let that go for a week and see what actually comes through if you just let things be light and easy. What shifts with ease? And when you experience that, I promise you, it's going to be infectious. You're going to be like, Kate, I get to create more things like this. This gets to feel good in the whole process. We get to let go of that old paradigm of the grind. I'm going to share the link with Sarah so that you guys can have access to my Frequency of Joy challenge so that you can not only hear this podcast and get a understanding from your mind of what I'm sharing, but you actually get the practical, like you actually get to experience in the real world. actually get to be part of your being and your doing. So I can't wait. I hope you guys all do the challenge. And I would really love to hear your feedback of what your experience was by taking a week of joy, how that actually affected your day to day, how that affected your mental well being, how that affected your outer environment. It has been such an honor to be your host today. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. You can always follow me on Instagram at Jeanine.Hauck, JeaninE.Hauck, or always follow me on my website at JeanineHauck.com. It has been such an honor, and I invite you to just feel joy in each and every day in every way.